Okay. I'll go well. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Good stuff. Yes, that's what I was about to do. Thank you for reminding me, Samuel. All right, back to this again. So, let's start over again for the purposes of this video. Okay. So yes, Adulting101 did the prayer. And now table of contents, what we're going to do, what we have on our agenda for tonight. And so we'll start with the scripture verse from Malachi 3 verses 10. And it says, bring the whole tithe into the storehouse, that there may be food in my house. Test me in this, says the Lord Almighty, and see if I will not throw open the floodgates of heaven and pour out so much blessing that there will not be room enough to store it. Right? So we have to be ready for when the Lord prepares to bless us, especially in our finances. Now, we're going to start off with, why do I need a bank account? I mean, what's so great about having a bank account? Why do I need it? Well, the simple answer is because of COVID-19. Now, if you aren't aware, or if you're too young to be aware, right, not having an online bank, not having that little easy maneuver in this time of COVID can be pretty hard for many persons. Many banks have really hustled up during this COVID time to get persons, online and stuff, to pay the bills, to buy the groceries, online shopping, all of that. But if you want, the real fancy answer, well, we need bank accounts because one, it's relatively safe. It's better than hiding your money underneath the mattress, better than hiding money in your shoes box. And your money is protected from theft and fires. And I think that most people don't know that many banks are insured for the money for a certain amount. So even if, for example, the bank burned down and all the money was lost, the bank have insurance. So your money, well, a portion of the amount of money will be given back to you. And it's also an easy way to save. Many saving accounts have interest on them. And also, when your money is in a bank, I would say it was much harder for you to just, oh, I need this, so let me just go take the money from underneath my mattress and then go buy something, spending your money a lot, being a spendthrift. And so saving your money in the bank kind of enforces that discipline of saving money. Bank accounts are cheaper. In some sense, they are cheaper, and it also allows you to access credit. Now, for many persons, credit is a beautiful thing and also can be a nightmare if not managed correctly. So, if you don't have the money, you can buy things on credit, and having a bank account allows you to have a credit, right? Moving on. Now, before I start, so we're going to be starting with NCB and how to open an NCB account. Now, since this COVID-19 period, NCB has upgraded and is now allowing customers to open a bank account online. How cool is that? Now, this short clip is going to show you the little things that online and stuff.
Need to bank without going to the bank? Well, now you can. Open your NCB account from anywhere at any time. From here, or even here. All on your schedule. Yep, just visit jncb.com and in minutes, you've got a new account. All you need is a valid ID, TRN, proof of address, 2 references, and proof of income. Follow the steps and submit. With NCB, your bank is wherever you are. Stay safe, stay home, bank online. With online account opening only from NCB, a bank you can really bank on. Need to bank with need
All right. I'm just testing. Okay, yes, you can hear me now. So many persons will say, awesome, this is great, online, opening a bank account, easy, 1, 2, 3, right? Um, many persons in Jamaica have this thing where opening a bank account can be extremely tedious. I know many persons will be like, so why so hard for my bank account? And honestly, it is true in some aspect. It's kind of hard to open a bank account and kind of hard in those sense that you need quite a bit of documents. And it can be very frustrating, going to the bank thinking that, oh yeah, I have everything. And when you check it out, you probably missed a reference. You probably don't have a correct proof of address. And so you've been in that line from morning until now, and then poof, you just have to leave. You're not getting through or anything. And that can be very, overwhelming for some persons. So this online option was a blessing for many persons, and as such, good for NCB. But as I said, there were 3 things mentioned in the video, but I kind of expounded on them in this. So it says here that you need 6 main things, or 4, and what do you need is 1, a TRN, that's a tax registration number, proof of valid ID, contact details for the reference. You need references, you need a proof of address, and then you need an employment letter, or proof of employment. So TRN, I hope that most persons here have a TRN. If you don't, I urge you to get one, especially if you're going to university and such, and applying for many things in Jamaica, you will need that TRN. It's a very good thing to have, and you can register for one at the tax office. Proof of valid ID. So currently, if you're doing the online option, the passport, employer ID, foreign ID, that's not accepted. But what you can use is a national ID or your driver's license to verify that, yes, this is Olivia Williams and I'm applying for this bank account. Now for the references, for NCB, I think I made an error somewhere here. What your references should include is that they should include their name, their contact number, and their occupation. So who can be a reference? It can be a JP, which is a just of the piece, your employer, another bank manager, NCB manager, or NCB customer. But this customer has to be an NCB customer for over 3 years or more. Proof of address, utility bill, or envelope with your address or bill address. Utility bill, etc. And employment letter. I think I did something. Okay, but let's not mind that for now. For the employment letter, there can be, you need something which details like who and where do you work, your occupation, your status, if you're full-time, part-time, contract, how long will you be working there, salary, and other relevant information. Now you're probably perhaps wondering, so what if I'm unemployed, or I'm in university, I'm not working? You still can open a bank account. You just need if you're enrolled in university, you need that letter from university. And if you're unemployed, I believe there's a different document that you can show as well. So now moving on, we're going to move on to our next prominent bank in Jamaica, and that is going to be Scotiabank. Now Scotia, similarly to NCB, so the one thing about these banks is that they pretty much need similar things. Now, difference between Scotia and NCB, now Scotia, I do not believe at this time has an online option, but once you take in these documents, you should be good to go. So the valid ID, passport, driver's license, military ID, permanent resident card, national ID, or a voter's ID, good to go. Okay, so we're going to just finish up. I hope you're still seeing my slide. Okay. Awesome. So secondary piece of identification with or without signature can be your employer, your school, birth certificate, TRN, credit card, debit card from a licensed financial institution, bear your name, proof of income or employment, as was mentioned before with NCB, and you need a minimum of, okay, I believe I'm mixing up something right here. Am I? Oh no, I'm not. Okay, and you need a minimum of $2,000 to open a bank account for the NCB online. I think there's a card attached to it. I don't think there is. And then the last bank, only featuring three today, the last bank I will feature in will be JN, which stands for Jamaica National Bank. And as you may or may not know, it recently, in the last 5 years, I believe it became a commercial bank. So it's up there in the top prominent banks of Jamaica. And for JN, to open a bank account for yourself, you have to be 18 years or older. Your parent can open one and then have you listed underneath it if you're not 18 as yet. But for your own self, to do your own business, you need to be 18 years and older. You need a proof of address. At least one of the following, which is a utility bill, can be older than 6 months. Receipt, other bills, proof of employment. We discussed that already. Telephone number, current and valid photo ID, TRN or Jamaican license, driver's license with the TRN number, occupation, name of employer, at least 2 references. I listed before, what the references should have a minimum of 2,500, and a source of funds or proof of income that would come underneath, the proof of employment as well. Right. So now I'm going to be taking 5 minutes to just open the floor to anybody who has any questions concerning this. Any confusion, any whoa, is that information, or giving you a breather to just, pause and come again, or are we good to go? Let me know. As mentioned before. So we're going to take this quick break. Okay, so as I was saying, moving on to next segment of healthcare and, a health card. And why do I need a health card? But before we begin that, we're going to start with the scripture, which says, "Dear friend, I pray that you may enjoy good health and that all may go well with you, even as your soul is getting along well." 3 John 1 verses 2. Now, what is a health card, right? So the simple answer of a health card, the NHF card, is basically the program that provides subsidies to every person in Jamaica that has at any age for the treatment of 17 chronic illnesses. Now, chronic illnesses examples would be, for example, asthma, diabetes, hypertension, etc. And so how does this card work? Well, this card helps you to pay for a list of prescription drugs or respiratory devices, diabetic supply, and diagnostic tests via our participating pharmacies, laboratories, or doctor's office. And so what happens is that the NHF card covers a fixed amount of the total cost, and you only pay the balance. So, for example, if I'm asthmatic, and so I have an NHF health card, and so when I go to the participating pharmacy to get my asthma pumps, for example, example sake, it's for $5,000, and so when I present them my card, the card will cover about 4,000 or 3,500, and I will only pay the surplus of the amount, right? And then we have different types of cards as well. You don't only have the NHF card. You also have the JADEP card and the JOG card. Now, the JADEP card was launched by the Ministry of Health in 1996, and this stands for the Jamaica Drug for the Elderly Program. And this improves access to essential drugs through payment subsidies. So it provides 100% subsidy for specific drugs, covering 10 chronic illnesses for all residents of Jamaica over the age of 60. The card holder pays a fee to the pharmacy for dispensing the drugs. Now, this card is specifically for elderly persons, so let those persons in your family know, right? There is something there for them, especially if they have, one of those chronic illnesses. I know that's kind of prominent in the older age group. And this helps because they don't really have to pay a lot of money. I believe the card covers everything. The only thing that they have to pay like a small fee to the pharmacy for dispensing the drugs that they need. And then now you have the GOJ card. This now is presented with the public health sector prescription at a selected pharmacy, and it entitles you to the VEN list of drugs approved by the Ministry of Health for use in public sector hospitals and health centers. And this card can be used at all drug serving pharmacies as well as the public sector partner pharmacy as well. So you see you have 3 different types of cards for 3 different types of persons. And this one is only for the list of certain list of drugs that are approved by the Ministry of Health. While, before with the others, I have to have, 10 chronic or 7 or different types of chronic illnesses. But this one, anyone can have them, and it's only for a certain list of drugs, right? That's approved by the Ministry of Health. Oh, hi. So we have, a healthcare professional in the house. And thank you, Carrie, for, giving that. So VEN stands for the vital, essential, and necessary. Thank you, right? So the VEN list stands for vital, essential, and necessary. Awesome. Good stuff. All right. So now I hope you now see the importance, of having a health card, especially if you're someone like me who has a chronic illness, and you can really cut the cost on your pocket, especially in this COVID time. I mean, everything is just, let's blame it on COVID, right? It's COVID fault. And so moving on, how to get a health card, right? So now, as I said, online is a new thing to go, and I realized that NHF has made a way in which you can get your card in the same day. Now, typically for me, when I applied for, when my parents applied for my card, it took about I'm just gonna give it like 3 months, but you can get your card the same day. And this short clip would kind of explain sorry, that's me, the little thing about that.
Without the hassle of long trips. Take your properly completed application form to your nearest same-day card service. National Health Fund same-day card service is now in every parish at selected drugstore pharmacies. Now you may apply for your NHF card or JADEP card without the hassle of long trips. Take your properly completed application form to your nearest same-day card service location and your card will be ready within 30 minutes. It's now a lot easier to get your NHF and JADEP cards. For more information, call the NHF at 876-906-1106. The National Health Fund, your partner for healthy living.
Awesome. So I hope you guys have taken note. And if you need any more little information on that, or you might need, I don't know, but you just need some little help or assistance, we have some wonderful health professionals at 41 Ola Road, Trevor Prophecy, and in this wonderful family. And we can always ask, can hit them up, you can go online, stuff like that. But I'm just giving you the brief introduction. Like, these things are out there, so take use of them. Don't let this thing just be out there. You're there having that kind of illness, and you're paying all this money when you can have a health card and you can get it in the same day in 30 minutes. That's just awesome. All right, moving quickly on now, we're going to go into resumes, which is the last part of our segment. And it's going to give you some tips and tricks, how to move into this working world. You need that resume. What is a resume? What we're going to do, and all those wonderful and lovely stuff. And before we start, we're going to start with the scripture. We have to start with the word of God. And it says, do you see a man skilled in his work? He will stand before kings. He will not stand before obscure men. Right? Can your resume stand before kings? What do you need to get your resume to that top level shelf? Well, that's why you have me tonight. So this little video is going to explain a little things of resume, right? How to write a great resume. And what I didn't know, I'm going to show you that you can start getting your resume from the earliest, grade 9. Earliest, grade 9. I kid you not, right? Earliest, grade 9. But definitely get your resume in order. And so I hope you have your pen, your pencil, your book, everything. Turn on that screen record, because we're going to drop in some gems right now about resumes.
No matter where you go, a compelling resume will take you far. It is your first chance to impress and a way to stand out amongst other applicants. It gives recruiters or educational institutions a glimpse into your past achievements and allows them to gauge your fit for the position. You can also use your resume to remind yourself of your past achievements. When creating your resume, here are a few things to consider. The structure and information presented in your resume will vary depending on your current situation. High school students should not include any experiences before grade 9. College students in the first or second year should only include grade 11 and 12, while those in the third year or further should not include anything before year 1 of college. On the other hand, people with more than 2 years of work experience should not include anything before college and include the educational background section at the end of the resume. Your resume can be broken up into the following sections. Education. Here you provide details of where.
Okay, so I'm just going to be dropping in this a little bit. I hope you guys, catch that first part about, the different things for resume. So I'm saying high school, and if you're like me, in your last year or you're just entering 6th round, grade 11, try not to enter anything before, grade 9. So different activities, if you were president of that club in grade 7, you don't need to enter all that surplus information. You just need like the most important part in like the latter years, like the upper school years of journey. And, moving on to, college persons, you don't need to include all that grade 9, grade 10 stuff, right? You're upgrade now, you move up in the life. So, whatever you did like in your 6th form period or your last year of high school, moving on to college, yeah, definitely include those. And then university people, 3rd year, 4th year, you don't need to include the high school stuff, that I'm done with. Also, when I was a child, I spoke as a child. When I became a man, I put away childish things. So, I just hope you guys got those gems, and we're continuing.
Broken up into the following sections. Education. Here you provide details of where and what you studied. Work experience. Here you provide one sentence on the company, your title, and what your key responsibilities were. Interests and achievements. Here you give details of any activity outside the workplace, certifications, extracurricular interests, languages, and IT skills. You can add additional sections or change the name of the interest section if you feel that you don't have much to say. Remember that it is okay if you don't have enough to fill a page. It is always better to have a short and concise resume rather than one that is filled with details from the distant past. When formatting your resume, be consistent with spacing and fonts. Spell and fact-check the entire document, especially names of institutions. Make sure you follow a reverse chronological order and be as concise as possible. Your resume should always be as updated as possible. There are certain things you should avoid while...
Okay, so not dropping again for that. And I hope you guys, there are so many gems that are dropped tonight, and I hope you guys are just picking them up. You're going to be rich by tonight as ended in Adulting101 course. It's a foundation course for all my teens and young adults. And I hope you got that important grammar and, diction, and, making sure that you check for any errors, anything that you might have included in your resume. Is good to have someone to check over your resume, because the funny thing about the human brain, especially if you did it, that if you made a mistake, even if you read it over like 100 times, your brain just kind of skips over the error. Like you ever read a sentence, they have two they have welcome to the club, right? Your brain just automatically skips over the second day. And so when someone else reads that over for you with a fresh mind, fresh perspective, they see all those errors and you're like, where was I? Right. But your brain was optimizing its time. Okay, basically. And so I hope you guys got that. And it mentioned reverse chronological orders. So that's basically from the newest thing or the most recent thing to the less recent thing. So for example, education. So if you attend you did CSEC and the CAPE, you wouldn't enter your CSEC grades, then you enter your CAPE grades. You enter your CAPE grades first. If it's Unit 2, they enter Unit 2, then Unit 1, they enter the CSEC, right? All right, good. Continuing.
While writing your resume. For one, don't use templates of people who have substantial years of experience. You do not need to put in your postal address or mention outdated qualifications. Also remember, whatever the reason for your resume, it should never be longer than a single-sided page. You do not need to include a photograph unless you're applying in a country where this is a requirement. Although this goes without saying, do not plagiarize someone else's resume. Lastly, if applying within India, do not mention English under languages if you have studied in an English medium school. Remember, your resume is a snapshot of your journey. It is not a thesis or essay, so be clear, concise, and to the point. For more information on
Okay, guys, so I hope you guys got all those gems, important things to note. Even, for example, English things. So if you live in Jamaica and you're applying to, somewhere in Jamaica, don't put languages as English and patois. Like, no, why would you do that? Don't do that, right? Don't do that. Please don't do it. Being concise. If you're applying for a job, that recruiter, that HR manager, they're going to be running through resumes, 100 resumes. You want yours to stand out, and you also want it to be concise as possible. So the most is 2 pages. But I know for my teens and my high schoolers, I doubt that you might have 2 pages worth of good quality stuff, right? Unless you're like Jesus or something. So you probably put like, you turn water into wine and stuff there. But unless you're Jesus, don't do that. 1 page, 1.5 page, you're good to go. Do not plagiarize and try to put honest information, right? Please do, because that can definitely come back and bite you in your blessed assurance. So please don't do that. All right. So we talked about resumes and, you saw what you needed, what you don't need, what the do's and the don'ts. So I'm going to be showing you some of my past resumes mistakes and how I have upgraded. And you're going to see the transformation. As you can see, that it says that your resume should be updated as of today. So you should have a resume and you're applying for a job tomorrow, and the last time you updated that resume was 6 months ago. No. Cannot be. You need to do better.
No matter where you go.
Okay, I'm gonna show this after. This is an app that I use, but I'm gonna show that after. No.
On the hunt for a
Okay, so I hope you guys can see this. I don't think I can zoom in anymore. Can I? No, I can't. Okay, good. So this was my earliest attempt of a resume, and I just want you guys to see the transformation that has occurred in my life, because as you can see, this was, what year was this? This was when? This was last year, July 2019. Okay, and so this was my resume, and objective and education, big error, boom. So last year July, how many there? Oh yes, fifth form, right? Yes, fifth form. And I made a big error. You realize don't put right, so if you can't see this, somebody can just unmute and tell me what you right, so tell me what you right, so. Nobody can? No one?
Nah, I can't see. It's kind of blurry, very blurry.
Oh my. Well, this right here in this area, I placed Spanish Town Primary. That was my primary school. No, this was me, in fifth form. I should not be placing primary school information on my resume. This was a big no. No. So this was my big error right here. So if I could, is a mark on this? No, there's not. If I could, I just go through my resume and just, mark that up big on, just hurt me. Yeah, so this thing right here, no. This, no, when I listed my subject, I listed them in point format, but I did it in such a way that it took up too much space. As you can see, it actually went over to the other year, and that was a kind of big no as well. Not on the other year, other page, and that was a kind of big no as well. Note, you can put pending. So if you're applying for like a summer job or your results haven't come out as it, you can put pending and just, letting them know what subjects they did and, them things there. But yeah, this took up too much space. So it wasn't concise as possible. Organization was messy. Looking at this, I'm like, cringe, on times 10. And experience part wasn't that bad. Yeah, okay. So it wasn't that. But this time, like the first part was kind of a big cringe moment for me. But we're gonna see the upgrade. Now this was when? I think this was late last year or early 2020. Right. So as you can see, let me just show you the flip side. I hope you can see like the transformation. So don't do that. Okay, I'm sorry. So this was the last time, and this is now, right? So this was the next transformation. So as you can see, it's more concise, it's, better looking, consistency and everything. So I still made a mistake of putting, oh yes, our next mistake I made, the reverse chronological order. So as you can see, I put primary school first and I put high school. That's a no. Although I corrected it, I put my high school years first, then I put high school. It still was, the primary school should have in there, right? Point blank period should have in there. Everything else was kind of okay. And then moving forward, no, this is my latest one. I did this about a week ago. I'm gonna see the transformation. I know I've found out a way how to, to concise everything on one page. And this was my one page. Boom! Right? Just look at this nice, the color, the organization. It just look, it's beautiful. I wish I could zoom it in, but the slides ain't working with me. But look at this beauty. This is just beautiful, right? So I'm sorry, I was hyping up myself. But as you can see, I included a picture. name there, you know, the details, how to find me, my LinkedIn. Guys, LinkedIn is important. Get a LinkedIn. Very important. I believe that the LinkedIn is like the Facebook of the working world. And, you know, for this now, this was like me applying for like a job. So I placed my work experience before, and then I did the education down here. As you can see, it's more concise. My certificates were this organization, and I put English right here, and I shouldn't put English. I should remove that because if I'm applying to somewhere in Jamaica, I don't need to put English as my language, right? See, if I'm applying somewhere like, for example, France, China, then of course put English there, but you know, otherwise don't do that. And then yeah, that is pretty much it. And going to be moving on. Okay, so for this last resume, what I used was this site called Nova Resume, and this is a, you know, shameless plug moment.
On the hunt for a new job? With Novo Resume, you can create a perfect resume in minutes. Our resume builder offers you templates suited for your exact needs. All you need to do is fill in your information and customize to whichever colors and fonts you please. Once your content is finished, just download your resume and start applying. It's that easy. Novo Resume, your professional resume builder.
Okay, so that was the site I use. You can use other good sites as well. You know, Microsoft Word offers good templates as well. Try to, you know, look at the template that you're using. As was mentioned in the video, you don't want to use a template of somebody who's, you know, applying, like using a CV. CV is like, you know, for much professional and older persons. You don't want to like use a CV when it's applying for an entry level job. And, you know, you don't want to use a template of somebody who's like applying for a job or it's best to use a template that is within your range. You know, if you're a high school student, don't use a college template, right? Try to use what you can. And so I like that site because, you know, it has different templates and such and such. Now, as a good teacher to her students, I have to ensure that you guys are learning. So what better way to test your knowledge than to have a quick game at the end? Now this game is called Kahoot. But in order to play it, you have to have a second device. So I hope we can have some persons playing. Please tell me that you have a second device. How do you play this game? You have to have a second device. It's online. So let me just give me a moment to just look for the thingy. Where's the thing? All right. So persons who haven't heard of Kahoot before, this is your all right. So here we go. So how do I play this Kahoot game that Olivia is talking about? What is it that you gotta do? Well, it's quite simple. So as you can see, the instructions is right up here. So you can join at www.kahoot.it. And if you don't have a second device, just let me know. I can just run through the questions and you can, can speak out answers and we can do that. But just let me know. If persons are joining, I'm just going to give you like a minute to join. Other persons can just answer the questions. Unmute your mic and answer the questions. It's a few questions, not much. Probably less than 10 the last time I remember. And so, instructions, right? So let's go to www.kahoot.it and you enter this game pin. Right, so the prompt will come up for the game pin. You enter it, and then after you do that, you just enter a nickname, any name you want. And then I'm just gonna wait. Is anybody? I see 2 persons joining already. That's cool. That's awesome. Great. Anybody else? Or only one device? Okay, Carrie, I understand. You can just help me, or just try to guess the questions in your head, or type it in the chat. That can work as well. The persons who only have one device, just type your answers when the question comes up in the chat. Awesome. Right, so I'm just gonna give probably 30 more seconds to anybody else who wants to join, and then we're going to start it. All right, cool. So we're just gonna start. Remember, persons who only have one device, you can just type your answer in the chat. Let's go. Right, so in 3, 2, 1. Why should I get a bank account? That's the first question. Why should I get a bank account? Right, so enter the answers for the 2 persons that are already here. All right, so I didn't say anybody type anything in the chat for that one, but the answer would have been, the first one. So as I said before, it is safe, and your money will be protected from theft and or fires. Moving on. Okay. Next question. Which of these documents do you need to get a bank account? Type your answer in the chat as well. Correcto. Yes, proof of address. You also reference to valid ID is needed. That's correct. All right, next. Moving on. You have he in the lead and then XT in second. Third question. Which bank featured today currently offers online sign-up for their saving accounts? Let's see who was listening. Type your answers in the chat as well, guys. Which one do you think is the answer? Right, yep, NCB is the answer. So NCB now offers online sign up for your saving accounts. So you can get to that. You don't have to leave your home. Right. Next. What is a resume? Right? What is a resume? All right, so yeah. Ooh, we have a takeover in the leaderboard. Fifth question, second to last. Which of the following is an acceptable email address to put in a resume? Now, I didn't talk about this, but you have to have good email addresses. So persons who are typing in the chat, let me know if it's A, B, or C. Which one is a suitable one? Right? Is it QTPie10? Give me them aggies@gmail.com. At Keisha. Which one? Right. So the Anthony.Williams. No. So no, it is not give me them aggies or C. No, Samuel. It is, Anthony.Williams. That's so professional, nice, to the point. All right, and then the last one we have is how can a well-written resume benefit you? Right? It will guarantee you to get the job. It will provide you a good first impression. Will increase the likelihood of you getting an interview. It will showcase what you have to offer. This sounds like very hard. This sounds like some UI questions. They're so close. Right. So yeah, Carrie smelled the rat. Carrie smelled the rat. So they are, well, not all of them, but there are three out of four of them were right. But it cannot guarantee you the job. Right? You have to get an interview or so. A resume just cannot guarantee that, oh, you're gonna get the job. But definitely increases the likelihood of you get an interview, showcase what you have to offer to that company, and you provide a very good first impression. And now we shall view the leaderboard with our 2 participants. And so we have in second place, he. And then in first place, we have XD. Congratulations for our 2 players. Oh, okay. So it was Nashan. I figured. All right. Well, Nashan, of course, it will be easy because you're only playing with like one other person. Right. So, that is pretty much the end of tonight. And thank you so much, guys, for, staying tuned and just listen to me present to you this knowledge that I've researched and I've gathered and all those wonderful things. Thank you, guys. And I can send the presentation in the groups as well. Just let me know. And we have about 3 minutes remaining on the clock. And so we finish right on time. And in this moment of time, I'm going to ask our winner for tonight of the Kahoot game, Nashan Headlam, just offer a quick word of prayer and then we can just end for tonight. So Nashan, go ahead.